The High War Council of the Thal'Zar Empire gathered beneath the vaulted crystal arches of the Imperium Chamber, their reptilian eyes glinting beneath ceremonial gold. A dozen planetary banners floated as holograms around them, each marking a world brought to heel beneath the Empire's iron grip. The Thal'Zar were conquerors, their fleets unmatched, their armies legendary. For over 6,000 solar cycles, no species had resisted them for long. But this day, the air carried unease. Whispers of caution slithered between the usual arrogance. The Reason stood at the center of the chamber, draped in tattered gray, eyes clouded with age and battle scars crossing his scale face. Admiral Cathal, the oldest surviving veteran of the Thal'Zar conquests. They will reduce our empire to ashes, Cathal rasped, voice like grinding stone. Mark my words, you fools. You court extinction. A murmur rippled through the council. Counselor Zarketh, young and ambitious, sneered openly. Old fears from an old lizard. You speak of primitives. Their world barely scrapes Type 1 on the Kardashev scale. Their fleets are scraps. Their soldiers, meat wrapped in soft flesh. Their planet? A backwater, rotting in isolation. Cathal's yellow eyes burned with quiet fury. And yet, every scout we sent, gone. Every probe, silenced. Every attempt at subterfuge, unraveled. Do you fools not see the pattern? Do you think that happens by chance? Another counselor, Elder Viekiel, waved a clawed hand dismissively. Accidents. Technical malfunctions. Resistance pockets. Nothing more. Cathal stepped forward, scales dull, but his presence carrying the weight of buried truths. I was there. The first encounter. The whispers began long before you all climbed your ranks. It was the Aeron cluster. We enslaved their people, shattered their fleets. But one of their outposts carried a human. A diplomat, they called him. Harmless, we thought. When their pleas failed, he warned us. With words cold as voidstone, he said, "You have made a mistake you will not live to regret." Zarketh barked laughter. And yet, here you stand alive. Empty threats from soft-skinned prey. Cathal's voice turned to steel. A cycle later, our fleets vanished from the Aeron cluster. Our supply lines? Gone. Our factories? Sabotaged. Our leadership assassinated in their dens. No great battle. No declaration of war. Silent, precise, inevitable. By the time we realized, the humans had wiped out every trace of our presence there, without lifting an armada. A hush descended. The High War Council exchanged uneasy glances. The Thal'Zar Empire's official records marked the Aeron cluster as lost due to civil unrest and logistical failure. But those old enough, those who listened to the shadows, knew better. They did not conquer through strength alone, Cathal continued. They observed. They waited. They learned every weakness. And when the moment came, they did not negotiate. They dismantled us, like an engineer pulling apart a malfunctioning drone, piece by piece, quietly, efficiently. Zarketh sneered. Old war tales. We have advanced since then. Their primitive tricks cannot harm the Empire now. You mistake them for stagnant prey, Cathal said, his voice dangerously low. They adapt, faster than any species I've witnessed. We crushed them in open space. They invented ways to fight in the shadows. We hacked their networks. They built systems immune to intrusion. We poisoned their colonies. They returned immune, stronger. Every strike we made taught them how to break us in return. Counselor Vidal's eyes narrowed. If they are so formidable, why do they not declare war? Why hide in the shadows? Cathal's expression turned grim. Because they are not like us. They do not want your empire. They do not seek glory, territory, or tribute. They seek security. And when they judge a threat unacceptable, they do not warn twice. They eliminate it completely, quietly, efficiently, permanently. The room fell silent. The weight of his words pressed down like a suffocating fog. For all their pride, the Thal'Zar understood efficiency. They understood the ruthless calculus of preemptive strikes. Still, Zarketh refused to yield. We are the Thal'Zar. Our fleets blot out suns. Our armies trample worlds. No mammal species, no matter how cunning, can reduce our empire to ashes. Cathal's jaw clenched. You have not seen Earth. The name alone carried an unfamiliar chill through the council. A world barely whispered in the annals of conquest. Isolated, obscure, but undefeated. Cathal's voice turned to quiet warning. Their planet is a crucible, a death world by galactic standards. Gravity crushing, weather violent, beasts that would slaughter your finest soldiers for sport, diseases that evolve faster than vaccines, predators that hunt in packs, communicating, strategizing. Their species thrived in that crucible. Every hardship sharpened them. Every catastrophe forged them harder. Zarketha's lip curled. They are but flesh. We have seen their kind before. Cathal's gaze bored into him. They learned to reshape worlds. They walked on their moon when their cities still burned. They harnessed forces we barely comprehend. Nuclear fire, quantum manipulation, biological engineering, not in centuries but mere decades. And when the stars opened, they stepped beyond their death world, not as conquerors, but as predators unleashed. A tremor of unease passed through the chamber. Do you wonder, Cathal continued, why they linger in the shadows? Why they send envoys and diplomats, not armies? It is not weakness. It is restraint, because they understand power. They fear what they could become unleashed. And yet, you stand here, plotting invasion. You mistake their patience for cowardice, their silence for vulnerability. The room crackled with tension. Even the arrogant younger counselors shifted uncomfortably now. The Thal'Zar's intelligence networks confirmed the humans possessed no vast armadas, no planet-cracking superweapons. But the absence of evidence did not soothe Cathal's hardened instincts. You will not face open war, he warned. Your fleets will not fall in battle. You will awaken to find your admirals assassinated, your shipyards in ruins, your supply lines corrupted, your soldiers dead in their bunks, your empire ash, reduced not by grand fleets, but by precision, calculation, human resolve. For a long moment, no one spoke. The council chamber's polished floors reflected their anxious forms. But ambition is a poison not easily purged. Zarketha's voice broke the silence. Then let us test their resolve. The invasion fleet launched 3 cycles later. Over 200 warships, dreadnoughts, and carriers glided through slip space, banners of the Thal'Zar Empire blazing like a second sun. Their destination, Sol, Earth's cradle. Cathal watched in the shadows, stripped of command, his warnings ignored. His heart, hardened by centuries of conquest, felt no pride, only dread. First came the silence. The fleet arrived beyond Neptune's orbit. No resistance, no communications. Their sensors detected human outposts, probes, automated stations, but no fleets, no armies. The admirals laughed. They advanced. Then the anomalies began. Ships disappeared, one by one. No explosions, no alarms. Simply gone. Scouts vanished next. Stealth corvettes, infiltration pods, all lost, as though space itself consumed them. Panic gripped the fleet. Then came the broadcasts. Human voices calm, measured, terrifyingly professional. This is your only warning. Withdraw immediately. Your presence is a violation of interstellar law. Further aggression will be met with finality. The admirals dismissed them. They pressed onward. Their ships fell into disarray. Systems failed. Weapons malfunctioned. Navigation scrambled. Communications jammed. Entire squadrons drifted helplessly as invisible forces gutted their infrastructure. And then they came. Human vessels. Not grand fleets, but surgical, specialized craft. Black as void angular, bristling with technology unseen in Thal'Zar databases. They did not engage in honorable battle. They hunted, targeting command ships, supply vessels, communications hubs. Each strike was clinical, efficient, devastating. Within a single rotation, the invasion fleet lay in ruin. Of the 200 warships, barely a dozen limped back to the Empire. The High War Council reconvened in stunned silence. Their fleet, undefeated for millennia, annihilated without open battle. Their pride, reduced to whispers of fear. Cathal returned to the chamber, not with gloating but with quiet, somber finality. "I warned you," he said, voice heavy as stone. "You mistook patience for weakness, silence for ignorance. Now you reap the consequences." Zarketh, wounded and humbled, spoke with barely restrained dread. What now?" Cathal's gaze was cold. "Now, you pray they accept your surrender, because if they do not, the Thal'Zar Empire is already ashes. You simply haven't realized it yet." Across the stars, unseen and unheard, human operatives dismantle the Empire's infrastructure. Economic collapse, political subversion, biological sabotage. Their work invisible, their methods merciless. The humans had not come to conquer. They had come to ensure no threat would ever rise against them again. And they were very good at what they did.